and welcome again to Screaming at the Cinema. In honor of Solo, a Star Wars story, our film today is another prequel no one asked for, Underworld: Rise of the Lycans, the unnecessary prequel that tells a story we already know. Now, without further ado, please start your copy of Underworld: Rise of the Lycans in 3, 2, 1. And here we are with Rise of the Lycans. Underworld: Rise of the Lycans. One of the reasons that we're doing this, and in the intro I kind of ripped on Solo, but I actually enjoyed the movie. I just saw it as one of those prequels that tries to rewrite history in a lot of ways. How he got the Millennium Falcon, things like that. They did do the thing, he did win it in a game of sabacc, but, the way that things changed, because, it was personally modified, and the way that things went, if you're into the Star Wars books and everything, that the YT-1300, which is actually the model, the model of the Millennium Falcon, the cockpit off to the side like that is not standard. Usually the cockpit is supposed to be in the middle. So, showing it in the way they did in Solo is actually custom as well. Now, Lando could definitely have customized it for himself, but still, it's a little weird. And honestly, I would have liked to see it in its original default version. So, Screen Gems. Screen Gems is not known for gems, but this is Len Wiseman's. I think this one. Lakeshore Entertainment. I think that's Len Wiseman's company, production company. He made these films, and then he also made Sleepy Hollow, which I enjoyed, the TV show as well. He just produced that, where he directed most of these movies. At least the first two. He doesn't direct this one. This one's actually directed by the guy who did the special effects for these 3 movies. This is one of the coolest parts in my mind of the Underworld lore, is they go with the traditional werewolves, where the werewolves are werewolves, and that's a little boy penis. That's weird. They go with the regular vampires, like if you've seen the other movies, like William. The regular werewolves that transform and they're werewolves, right? But these werewolves can't, change again. Like they never go back to humans, right? Then this guy is the first of the hybrid style, where they actually do change at the full moon. And it's a little weird. There's some inaccuracies based on simply the lines that they use in the first movie. Yes, the first of the Lycans. Well, they've changed some things, because in the first movie they say, some of the older ones have learned how to change without using the moon, and in this movie, it's obvious that Lucian had this ability from the beginning. Of course, they're showing him transforming at the full moon right now, so maybe I'm wrong. Of course, we assume it's a full moon, because we haven't actually seen that. But, one of the great things about this series is they use practical effects as often as possible, which is pretty cool. For example, all the werewolves that you're going to see in this movie are physical. They're creature suits, which is really cool, especially for 2009 when this movie came out. And I do like that these werewolves look different than the regular werewolves, because the regular werewolves, from the William strain of the virus, because that's what these are. In this series, vampirism and lycanthropy are being a werewolf is a virus that you get infected with, and it changes your body. Bill Nighy's so great. I love Bill Nighy. He's such a cool guy. Um, he's really an addition to this series, like a good addition. And then Pirates of the Caribbean, he also kind of defines himself as like a really good villain. I love his voice too. We will deal with. Let's see. We will deal with the wolves as we always have. It's not the prissy British accent, but it's pretty close. Yeah, so those wolves are digital right there. But for the most part, especially when you get close-up shots, they're actually physical, which is really nice. The marrying of physical and digital effects is probably it's the best way, in my opinion. Make the most of the physical effects, and when the physical effects wouldn't be enough or can't convey what you want to, then you go digital. And the digital effects have to be good enough that you can't tell the difference unless you're looking really close. In this movie, I believe they do that very well. But this also suffers from the early 2000s thing of color tinting. And I actually have a theory about this. Back in the day, to tint an entire film a certain color, to have a certain color grading, you would have to actually soak the celluloid, the film, in different chemicals. So it was actually difficult to do. The early 2000s saw the advent of things like Adobe Premiere and Avid and things like this. Editing software, you're recording digitally, and you're able to apply these filters without much work at all. Because of that, people kind of went overboard. The Matrix is tinted green, Underworld is tinted blue, and this does take from the Matrix a lot, but I think it's far better than the Matrix. Matrix actually, the first film's good, but the other two are terrible. I really like Michael Sheen's performance as Lucian in this film and the first one. He was very, very good. I've liked him in every role that I've seen him in. But, this movie actually has a pretty stellar cast. Imagine dealing with a rebellious daughter for 500 years. You are your birthright, an elder. You will become an elder. It's so great. But I like Scrabble. Loyal to the family, huh? There's not a lot of jokes here at the beginning, but there's gonna be jokes later. Not much later, actually. It's gonna be pretty, But yeah, there's not much to make fun of here. This is actually a really strong start. I don't know how they were able to show the little boy completely naked. That feels almost like child pornography to me. But I guess it's not because it's a baby or something. I don't know. It's still very odd to me that they were able to show that. This is the only movie that I actually know of that does show that. So I don't know. Maybe they. But he wasn't even resting. Uh-huh. Bark, bark. So their collars are very interesting because those spikes that are on the interior of the collar are made of silver. So it inhibits them from changing. All kinds. To who? Have you lost your mind? Perhaps. Oh wait, she's not here. So they're posing as just like this human kingdom, but they're vampires, and you could tell by his eyes that he's not human because his eyes stick a glow. But I guess not. He's gonna get all sneaky now. Super duper sneaking. But yeah, it's kind of weird how everything in the entire series is this day for night blue. You know, it's kind of odd. Hello, am I interrupting? She's not in her room. Hi, wanna make out? Huh, where are they? They wouldn't happen to be making out on a cliff, would they? Oh no, they are making out on a cliff. So this, in my opinion at least, is very misplaced and weird. I think it's obvious by this point that it is a sex scene. I think they do it pretty tastefully because they don't really show anything. You don't see her. Well, you kind of see her. Yeah, I think you see his butt or something. But I don't think that this scene is necessary. First of all, that is ridiculous. That's the most hilarious thing possible. That's so crazy. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. But you could cut that part completely and just cut to this, and it will get the point across, because it actually changes something that they do have a romantic relationship involving sex. That is a plot point of this film. So, this is actually important. But you don't need to show all of that, especially him leaning off the cliff like that. That's just stupid. But I think this guy, the guy who directed this movie, is French, so they have a very different take on sex than Americans do. So that changes things. Look, I made a key. I like you as a slave. Uh-huh. It really turns me on that you're a slave. Uh-huh. Here's a dumb thing. They didn't think that someone would think up a key. I mean, they do think of them as animals, but I mean, you gotta think. Someone's gonna go, wait, I could get this off at some point, somehow. Even if it's just figuring out a hammer. Because those things, they aren't invincible. Oh no, Tannis saw that she's his girlfriend. That's bad. There's werewolves in the trees. Tree wolves. Werewolf boyfriend. Because, the nobles of the area don't go, I wonder why we never see them during the day. I wonder why we can't have meetings during daylight. Also, these are nobles because they kind of look like shepherds. Checkpoint number 1. Got your stuff. There's something that I could say there about swords, but I'm not going to. No. I'm a free, independent woman. And I'm his rebellious daughter, so I'm gonna do what I want. I know what you did last summer. And he's like, oh my god, he does know. He knows what I did last summer. For being nobles, they kind of look like trash people, to be honest. Uh-oh, it's werewolves. I think this scene is actually done very well. Where the werewolves pop out of the ground and stuff. It's crazy. Nasty. This guy's awesome. I believe his name is Michael Clark Duncan. And he has the lowest voice I've ever heard. He is so cool. In this series, his name is, I believe, Raze. But yeah, he's a cool guy. When the carriage is a rockin', go get the werewolf. That doesn't exactly play. So did they did they dig the tunnels, or were there tunnels there originally? That's my question. No, I'm totally wrong. His name is Kevin Garreau. I don't know if that's the same guy. I'm gonna look at the other Underworld movies and see. Yep, Kevin Garreau. Okay, so Kevin Garreau is the guy I'm talking about. Excuse me. Oh, and they shot at him because he got out of his collar. they put Charles Dance in the new movies, kind of to give that same presence as Bill Nighy. And I like Charles Dance, but he doesn't quite do the job of replacing Bill Nighy in a lot of ways. I think that he's good, and his character is actually pretty good too. But it's just not the same without Victor here. Victor is a really good character because he seems to be one of the good guys at the beginning, and he's totally the villain. Like, he's literally the villain of at least the first 3 movies. Uh-huh. Really? Then why was I a slave? $30 lashes. I told you I'd be there. You know who he reminds me of? And this is going to be a weird pull. But if you've seen The Two Towers, you remember when the orcs are discussing whether or not to eat Merry and Pippin? And there's that one guy with the really weird face, one of the orcs that has the really weird face, and he's like, yeah, I just buy some meat. And he's got that really high, whiny voice. That's what that guy reminds me of. And he's got that kind of pointed face and things. Hey, we'll buy some meat. What about their legs? I don't need those. And then they start arguing and fighting, and then Rohan comes and kills all of them. Yeah, that's bad. Whipping is bad. Just in case anyone's confused. Whips leave scars. Depending on where they hit and how hard. Is it just me, or does that not... That does not look like 30 welts there. It feels like they did more. Alright, ready? Listen to this guy's voice. Oh, he didn't talk. He's gonna talk eventually. I think that the girl who plays Sophia is... No, it's Sonia, isn't it? Pretty sure it's Sonia. But the girl who plays her does fine, but not great. Yeah, Sonia. She does fine, but I think that she was hired because she looks like Kate Beckinsale. And the whole thing with her character of Celine was, he wanted you to be a vampire because you looked so much like his daughter. And, so they hired someone who looks like her. Which makes sense. And this movie... Okay. Let's see if he's going to talk this time. Do you hear that? That's so deep. It's crazy. The crazy thing is William's virus, the original strain of werewolf, works really fast to the point that a werewolf will kill someone and then within 10 minutes they'll change into a werewolf. And it's not just, oh, they bit them. They can fully on kill. William himself can kill people and they will come back as werewolves. But this movie doubly doesn't make sense when you watch Underworld and you see that Sonya in the first movie, when they flash back to scenes from this movie, because this is what hadn't happened yet, Sonya's a blonde. So there's little inconsistencies and things because they didn't plan their franchise out completely. I think they planned the first story. Well, I think that they planned 1 and 2, and then they did this one because they didn't know what to do with the third one. Because 1 and 2 are actually really solid story wise, and 2 is actually really good. And I think that Marcus, one of the other elders, is actually really cool. And kind of having the progenitors of the vampire and werewolf races in the film is actually really cool. Underworld Evolution, that's the second one. So yeah, one wagon and there's all these people. It's weird how that works. We've got Silver. And Silver is super important to him because of all the stuff that they have to make with it to kill the werewolves. See, the interesting thing is one thing that they don't do very well in this film is showing the passage of time. Because this was not the one wagon. That was Baron, what's his name, and his family, not the rest of these nobles. So time has passed. He's spent time in prison for a few days, at least, if not weeks. Because he's recovered, he's standing up, They're not showing the passage of time in a way that you're not going to get if in a way that you're going to get seeing this movie the first time. Are you saying you have a dream? Yeah! Lycans! Hooray for werewolves? Question mark? Now I gotta go off and run to see my boyfriend! Go! Girlfriend powers activate! Oh, wait, no. Plot point for a previous film! But it's also the future. Because this is a prequel, so that always is interesting. See, and I don't understand this because if he has that key, that means that Celine's parents are dead. And Celine's there, which means she should not have that. No, I'm gonna add a soda. What benefit exactly do you have? Right? What benefit? How would you get benefit? Uh-huh. No. That's not how that works, though. Do they have elections? Do they have... What? Can't she just step down? But the in return is keeping your secret. What? This is blackmail. You don't get to give orders. Because random cloaked person meeting with Lucian, no one's going to suspect anything, no. Yeah, but you're gonna have to figure out shelter during the day, because these vampires are sensitive to sunlight in the normal way, which means it kills them. And I don't think they can just wear cloaks and stuff. Like, they literally can't be out before sunset. Well, basically before, the sun is done setting, not at sunset. I'm locked in a cell. Why was there a sword noise when he dropped the key? Crazy thing is, places like that actually exist. There are catacombs in France that have that kind of stuff exactly, like bones and skulls arranged like that. It is nuts. They're like built into the wall. And the China also has that, because people who died while they made it were just thrown in there with the concrete, with the snow, with the mud and the concrete and the stone. You say everything's a curse. That's a curse. This is a curse. We can start a werewolf commune. We'll make our own castle with blackjack. Dun dun dun. Hi. Things went well for you. This is so good. Oh yeah. He's just having a great time. See the difference between the physical and the digital effects? You can tell the difference if you're watching closely. When he was attacking him, that was definitely physical. But then when he transformed back on screen, that's definitely digital. Run, everybody run! Stampede! Stampede! This is kind of a cool sequence, actually. Fool of a took! Anyway. But the cool part is that they turn ballista on them. They start shooting the ballistas into their own buildings. It's crazy. Imagine a 50 to 60 pound arrow flying at you. That is nuts. It's amazing that they know to stop shooting once their guys are in there. Yes. There's been a prison break. He's running away. But it's daytime. Shouldn't you be asleep? Or it's close, at least. Ta-da! He's like, do I jump? And I was like, yep, you jump. He's like, whoa, I survived.
Wow, that's crazy.
Victor. Wait, why do you guys have a doorway in the cliff like that? It's the secret door. You can only see it when the sun shines just right on the keyhole. It was boarded over with wood. No, it's magic. I don't know. Probably broke it because it's a werewolf. We're gonna go running through the woods for days. They need to reorganize their armory. There's like arrows and chains and vials of stuff and all kinds of stuff on here. It was right here under the knife. Look, I got it. While I was locked in a cell? Can you change the combination on the skeleton key lock? Maybe you should do that. Maybe you should lock it in a way that it isn't, you know. That leather armor looks pretty cool. Ape together strong. Hmm. That grate is loose. Was he kissing my daughter? I'm realizing just how completely imperceptible this movie would be without watching the previous two. Just some of the plot points would not make any sense at all without watching the previous two. Oh, I forgot this scene where he goes and sees the regular werewolves. I gotta light all my candles and incense because I'm a girl and I like that. Wow, that is a ridiculous amount of candles. A werewolf death dealer. Okay. Death dealers specifically hunt werewolves, so that's a little weird. What? No. What? No. What? No. 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 Yes. No. So this is one of the coolest things that they had in this series. When someone drinks someone else's blood, especially if it's vampire drinking another vampire's blood, they will get the memories. They will be able to see the memories of that person. Uh-huh. Did you? 'Cause where's Mom? No one really asks that. Where's Mom? Well, we got a vampire divorce. It was not very good at all. We argued all the time and then I killed her. But I divorced her before that. She said she would be here. Because the best way to be an effective leader is to choke anyone who disagrees with you. Now, there is one awesome story that comes out of the Revolutionary War that's kind of like that I really like. So, in Valley Forge, the hardest winter of the Revolutionary War, everyone was having trouble, right? It was a really rough winter. There weren't many supplies and things like that. There was a group of guys around the fire, and they were talking about who's going to run the country if they won the Revolutionary War, right? You know, who's going to run America? And one of the guys suggested King Washington, right? That he would be the king. Well, the idea got back to our favorite general and first president, George Washington. And he found the guy and he kicked the crap out of him, which is really great because he's like, that's not what we're fighting for. We're not fighting for another monarchy. We're fighting for freedom. So he kicked the dude's he kicked the dude's ass. It was great. Kicked the crap out of the dude because he's like, no, we're not going to do that. I was just enjoying Hawaiian punch. What do you want? Do you have to drink it so creepily, sir? Yes, I must drink it creepily. So Ray's almost instantaneously became the second in command, and he's probably one of the cooler minor characters in this series. I like him a lot. He's cool. You have to have the softest shoes ever to land like that. He landed on cobblestone without making any noise. That's ridiculous. But, you know, he's a werewolf, so he's got extra agility and crap. Oh, I got him. Hi! They stole the princess! He found that his princess was in this castle instead of a different one. For being vampires, they move pretty slow. Uh-oh. But it's gunpowder. And there's water down there. So it wouldn't light up because it's wet powder. Gunpowder won't light if it's wet. Especially if it's just straight black powder. If it gets wet, it's toast. So this is patently ridiculous. Sword play, quick cuts, yay! That way we don't have to learn our stunts. We just can have the shaky cam and the and the slow down footage just kind of mess with it for us, so it looks like it's happening, but it's not. I really hate the shaky, crazy, crazy amount of cuts, jump cut fighting that they do, and uh-huh. Just let me have my boyfriend, Dad. Jeez, you're so cool. Uh-oh. There's Mom. Oh, he doesn't like interracial marriage. See, he could easily just end it by gut stabbing her, but, whatever. He could have just stabbed her in the gut, and then, this would be done. And they could heal her, and the baby wouldn't survive. But whatever. Okay. Do this part, I guess. If he was really the villain that he is, then, I feel like that would be the thing that he does. Uh-huh. You failed this city. Well, you're the one that told him about the baby. Did you think he was going to have a good reaction to that? Open the door. Open the door. 7 little tiny men. Will you now? And they shot him. And they shot him again. They like shooting him twice in the back. Hi, everybody. He's a guy. The Thing is germinating inside her? Yeah, well then, yeah, I'm on board. Cause that will be bad. It could be anybody. It could be you. It could be me. I could be the Thing. Cause the movie The Thing, the John Carpenter movie that got an okay remake in 2011. Flash forward to Davy Jones. They're gonna kill her. It's gonna be bad. Anyone who's seen the first movie knows exactly what's gonna happen here. Sunlight execution. Victor would have killed Sonya for the Soul Stone, confirmed. It's unimaginable power. The Soul Stone, that is. I've got to take the key. MacGuffin from Evolution! Oh yeah, it was Lucian that got it. He had it in Underworld. Of course, he doesn't know the significance of it. They must not be very far, because they can hear his roar from all that way away. Here they come. See, and if they get enough silver, they can actually force the transformation back, and they can inhibit them from transforming for a while using silver. And here come all the regular werewolves. But yeah, the guy who directed this movie, he was the special effects guy. If you guys ever have seen the show Face Off, the makeup effects competition show that they have on, I believe, Sci-Fi, he was on that for a couple episodes, I think, as a judge, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's Patrick Tatapoulos, and I was correct. He is French. He was born in Paris. He was actually just married in 2015. He did special effects for 2020. No. He did special effects for Super Mario Brothers, the movie, Independence Day, Spawn, Godzilla, the 98 version, Stuart Little, Pitch Black, that's cool, he designed the creatures. Battlefield Earth, he designed the creatures. Underworld, he was the designer of the creatures. iRobot, he designed Sunny, the robot. Silent Hill, he designed for the Silent Hill movie, he did the designs. That's pretty good. I Am Legend, 10,000 BC, Solomon Kane. Wow, he did a lot of creature work in the early 2000s. But the Silent Hill, the Silent Hill creature work is actually really, really spectacular. So that's a credit to his name. I don't think he's directed anything else. I think he's just directed this movie. Let's take a look, yeah? I'm getting all these from imdb.com just in case you guys are wondering. He directed this and a whole bunch of stuff I've never heard of. So, yeah, basically just this. But see how the regular werewolves, they kind of have that snout where the Lycans have more of a human-looking face. You know, they don't have the canine snout. I think that's cool. They're just able to drop like that. That's pretty cool. So you might be asking yourself, hey, I thought that the werewolves, you know, that the ones descended from William, actually turned people when they killed them, like you said. Well, they do, but they don't turn vampires. Vampires will die from lichen-inflicted wounds instead of turning. The same goes for werewolves. If they're bit by vampires, they'll die. You know, and the bites are actually far more lethal, which I don't know why they never use them. But the bites are far more lethal than they would be against a human, specifically because the virus that they're infecting them with is antagonistic to the virus that they're infected with already. So their body will basically rip itself apart. You know, and it depends on how quickly... It depends how quickly that would happen, but, you know. See, he's grabbing the elders and getting them out of here because obviously the castle has been breached. Because Marcus and Amelia are basically in hibernation right now. They're the other elders, like Victor. You know, so they're more powerful vampires than most others. The elders are. Ow. See, this is fine, because it's only two people, so these jump cuts like this, they're actually okay, because you can still tell what's going on. When they're jump cutting during a large scale combat, which was the one between Lucian, Sonya, and all those guards and stuff, that was an issue, in my opinion, because you can't tell what's going on. See how quickly it turned from day to night to day again? Well, no, because he fell asleep, so it's been some time since the execution. But still, it's already day again. He got stabbed right through the mouth, severed his spinal column. He should totally be dead. So, you're going, wait a minute, he's in the first movie. How could he possibly be dead? What do you mean? He totally survives that, which is ridiculous. You know, as CinemaSins would put it, he survives this. I think they did put it when they did the everything wrong with this film. that he survives this. It's like he's a vampire, but you still, severed the spinal column. And actually going through the throat like that, you'd hit a bit of the brain, depending on where you hit. Especially if you were angled up, you definitely hit the brain. So the Lycans actually took over this castle because the story between this and the first one is that that Craven, who is one of the newer vampires that shows up in Underworld, he came and he and his death dealers took over this, took this castle back from him. So Tanis and Victor are on this ship. At some point, Tanis, retrieved him. And here they are. Sleepy time. That's Craven talking right now. Spoilers. And that's Celine. That's Kate Beckinsale from the rest of the series. So there's that. It's fine. I think that it's actually, a pretty, I think it's a fine movie. It's fun. Hey, best in the characters. Kevin Garreau created some of the characters. That's kind of cool to find out. I never connected that. Mostly because I didn't know the guy's name. I wonder which characters he wrote. Or maybe he wrote the story and then he got to be Reyes, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that was Underworld Rise of the Lycans. I'm probably going to do all the other ones because I own them, so might as well, right? And I enjoy this series. And this is probably the weakest movie in the series. Like, even more than Blood Wars, which was, okay, but not great. But yeah, stay tuned. And we'll probably be doing that, in the next sometime. So I will see you guys next time. That was Underworld Rise of the Lycans. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, please like and subscribe to be notified when the next commentary will be online. And make sure to leave a comment suggesting what our next commentary should be. Thank you, and happy watching.